What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Weezy. Welcome to Jay Weezy's World. So it is Sunday, so we're gonna go ahead and get the week started off right. I have this brand of quinoa from Sprouts. I've ate quinoa, but I've never made quinoa. So this is one of the things I'm switching up this week. Usually I make rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, but for some reason I went ahead, just the itch to try quinoa to kind of broaden my horizons a little bit came to me this week. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and have this as my carb source. And what I'm making today is my uh, lunch and my dinner over the next few days. I'm going to keep the breakfast simple. I have my shake as well as I'm going to do a couple boiled eggs. Not going to do anything fancy, keeping that super simple. So I saw in the instructions that the ratio was about 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of water. I saw online it was 1 cup to 1.5 of water. What I ended up doing is 2 cups. So this measuring cup here, I'm doing 4 half cups, which is 2 cups total. And then I ended up doing just over basically 3.5 cups of water just to see how it comes out. I don't like when my rice or anything is soggy, so I figured, hey, if it wasn't good, I'll go ahead and try it differently next time. Gonna add in some Himalayan pink salt. I saw some folks do this. I do this with my rice anyways. Adding in a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'm also going to add a bay leaf. That's usually what I put in my rice. So for my rice, it's usually just salt and then just the bay leaf. But I figure, hey, let's go ahead and see how this is going to try out or taste with the garlic powder, the salt, the bay leaf. And I'm also going to add a little bit of cumin. I figure the cumin will get a little bit of an earthier taste. And the quinoa itself has a little bit of a nuttier taste. So again, if it doesn't work out, that's the point of kind of experimenting just to see what you like and kind of again try different things as I move forward. I did set the setting to white rice. That's what I saw online, so we'll see how it comes out. All right, let's go ahead and teleport into the future. I'm a little bit nervous. Here's the unveiling. Let's see. A little steamy. Okay. Okay, honestly, after I let this set for a little bit, I mean, look at it. It's nice. It's fluffy. I did give it a taste test. It
Yeah.
tastes really good in my opinion. And I think kind of moving forward, it's only going to get better. So again, set it to the white rice setting. Tell me what you guys' thoughts on how it looks inside the comment section. Again, it tastes really good. So, but always up for some feedback. I think it came out nice and fluffy. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the ground beef, which I'm going to have for lunch. So I'm going to do a 93.7 ground beef. It is 2 packs that I'm going to be using between my wife and I over the next 3 days. And I'm going to use some avocado spray. Pro tip, avocado oil can be cooked at a higher temperature before it starts to smoke. Olive oil is great. I have that as well. But I do like to use avocado oil as my preference. And yes, this is a non-stick pan, which man, I love this new pan set that I got. Had it for about 3 weeks now. I'm loving it so far. One thing that I like to do when it comes to ground beef is I like to let the ground beef brown on both sides before I start to chop it up. I do need to invest in one of those like specific ground beef choppers, but that is one thing I like to do is kind of let it brown a little bit on each side before I actually start to chop it up. Just kind of hold that juice inside of it. Ready to go ahead and get this thing chopped. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the seasonings, but not only do I want to show you the seasonings, I'm also going to show you how much I'm putting on here because I'm not sitting here saying, hey, do what I do. But I think sometimes for those that don't really cook that often, they kind of wonder, how much do I put on? Some people kind of snip it and show the seasonings, but not really show how much you're putting on. Now, this is kind of during the cook. I will add a little bit extra after it's done cooking, usually maybe a little bit of salt. But I have salt, pepper, cumin, and then some garlic powder. One thing that I started to incorporate a few months ago that I didn't use most of my adult life is Worcestershire sauce. I've been using it on my steaks, but I also went ahead and started using it on my ground beef. Honestly, game changer. It adds a little bit of an earthier taste, a little bit more of a beefier taste. And so it is one thing that I started to use, the less sodium version. I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up and let it go ahead and cook off. One thing that I wanted to go ahead and add here, just again so things don't go to waste, is this little bit of fajita mix I have. Some peppers, some onion, not too much left in there, so I went ahead and threw that in there. Why not? Got some organic chopped kale. And what I do with this is I just want to incorporate as much micronutrients as I can, get some veggies in. And so I added in a decent helping of the chopped kale. And just as a FYI, if you're curious, what I will go ahead and do is when I do weigh the ground beef, I still will weigh it at 3 ounces, 4 ounces, 5 ounces. By the time this kale is done cooking down, it's really not going to be anything. So I kind of just keep it a 1-for-1. I might be a little bit short or might be a little bit more, but I'd rather just keep it a 1-for-1 when it comes to the weighing piece of it, because it is going to cook down pretty heavily if you're familiar with working with whether if it's kale or spinach. Okay, so here is the final product. After it's been cooking on low for a little bit, it's cooked off that excess water from the vegetables as well as any additional fat. Again, it's 93.7, so there's not a lot there. But I'll show you as an example. There's not a lot of fat sitting underneath there, not a lot of water or condensation. And then keeps it pretty simple, pretty clean. And of course, I got to go ahead and pay the tax because my dog is sitting there again at my feet. So let me go ahead and put a little bit on the side for him, let it cool down, and pay the ground beef tax, of course, to him. Now, I know some people here might be new when it comes to meal prepping or weighing out your food, so I wanted to show you what I'm doing. Get you a simple scale off Amazon, doesn't have to be too expensive, but each serving of quinoa is 44 grams, and so I have this set to grams right now. And I'm doing a double serving, and I'll have the macros on here in just a little bit. So I'm doing a double serving of the quinoa, and then what I'm going to do is 5 ounces of the ground beef and veggie mix. So keep it simple for yourself. Add your servings. Boom, close enough. I'm going to zero out the scale, switch it to ounces, and I'm going to go ahead and add the ground beef mix here, and the flavor came out phenomenal. The dog would tell you that and agree with me, so he'll probably eat anything anyways. But super simple, super tasty as far as getting it to it's a simple meal I can pull out at work, warm up, and get my meal in quick. Not super fancy, but super tasty, and personally, I love it. Keeps me on track. Let's go ahead and move on to the protein for dinner. And usually I'll just cook dinner each night, but with the way my work schedule is now and the gym, all of that jazz, life, I'm just going to go ahead and meal prep my dinner as well for the next few days. I'm going to pair this up with the quinoa that I made earlier. And, with that, I'm going to go ahead and bat these dry just to take off the excess moisture on both on the front and the back of the salmon. And then I'm going to go ahead and season them up. Right now, I do have the pan warming up. That way, when I do drop the salmon, I can drop that down skin side to get that skin nice and crispy. I am a fan of dropping down skin first. I know most people will go ahead and do that. But if you don't cook salmon that often, I definitely suggest you cook it skin down first to get that skin nice and crispy, because if you do it the other way around, it just doesn't work, because as you put the salmon down, the meat itself is going to start to cook through. So have some salt, pepper, Cajun powder, garlic powder, and I believe I might have put a little bit of cumin on here. I'm not 100% sure that I recall now. So again, I'm going to go ahead and lay this down skin first. As a rookie mistake, I did have the pan just a little bit higher than I really wanted to or should have. And so next time I'll kind of be cognizant of that. It still came out really good as far as the way it looked and the way it cooked. But I just, didn't want to be transparent on the fact that the pan was a little bit on the hotter side than it should have been. So I'm going to go ahead and give these a little bit of a tossy toss. Got the skin nice and crispy. And then what I'm going to do here, as you see, is I'm going to put the spatula on top of the salmon just to kind of rub it down to make sure the meat is on there evenly. And this is the finished result of that. I do have one piece still in the pan, but this is the result of the pan searing with the salmon. I do feel like this week's meal prep came out really well. And that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think of the next one.